I went to go see a different gynecologist, and when I told him that I had 3 fibroids that were 5 centimeters each, he was like, holy shit. I was like they're acting as if they've never seen anything like this before. Hey there, loved ones, welcome to Fully Loving Yourself. Today we are going to be talking about my experience with fibroid tumors. My name is Sonia Star J, and I was diagnosed with fibroids in May of 2020. I've seen a total of 7 doctors and 3 holistic practitioners, and I have made the decision to not get the surgery, and I'm going to tell you why. Before we get started, please make sure to go ahead and hit the subscribe button before you head out. And we're just going to get right into it. Fibroids are benign tumors that grow in and around the uterus. There are several different types of fibroids. We have submucosal, subserosal, pendoculated, and a few others. And depending on the location of your fibroids, that determines what type of surgery that you get. Some of the symptoms of having fibroids are heavy and painful periods, back pain, fatigue, anemia, and like low iron, heavy blood loss, among other things. Many women don't even realize that they have fibroids until they go to a doctor complaining of certain symptoms, and then they get an MRI or a CT scan or ultrasound or something like that. I was unable to get an MRI because I have a tattoo that I have on my back randomly, but I did have an ultrasound and a CT scan. There are a few different ways that you can get rid of fibroids surgically. You can get a laparoscopic myomectomy, I think, where they make the incisions in your stomach and they go in with a robot or something, and then they cut them out and then they pull them out. But I guess that depends on where they're located. And then a myomectomy, they actually have to give you a C-section scar and like cut your stomach open, go in, cut the fibroids out, and then, you know, stitch you all back together. Or you can get the UFE, where they go in and they cut the blood supply off of the fibroids, and I think it takes about 6 months for them to die off and fall out. And then the last suggestion in the worst cases are hysterectomy. However, hysterectomies are given out very frequently in the cases of fibroids, and a lot of women go through multiple stages of getting surgeries, of myomectomies, and then they grow back. The fibroids grow back, and then they end up getting a hysterectomy anyway after like 2 or 3 myomectomies, because at that point the uterine tissue is so weak because you've been getting so many different surgeries and getting cut open that you can't, you know, do anything at that point. So in May of 2020, I can't really recall what it was that made me go to the doctor in the first place. But I know that in March of 2020, right when COVID hit, I had gotten sick. And so I went to the doctor and she gave me some medicine for sinus congestion. I think I actually had COVID, but I took dairy out of my diet and my congestion, it cleared right up. Like there was no more mucus. So I decided to cut dairy out of my diet. In May of 2020, I went to a gynecologist and she did an exam on me, and she ended up telling me that I had fibroids and that my uterus was the size of a 5-month pregnancy. At that appointment, she told me that I either needed to get on birth control or I needed to have surgery. And then after the surgery, I would only have 6 months to get pregnant, and then I would potentially have to get a hysterectomy. That didn't sound right to me, so I decided to go and get a different opinion. She did have me go to a radiologist who did an external ultrasound, and then they were able to determine where my fibroids were and how big they were. At that point in time, I had 3 fibroids that were about 5 centimeters each, a little under 5 centimeters each. After I went to the radiologist and I seen that gynecologist, and she made me bawl my eyes out, y'all. Like I was crying so bad because I was like, what do you mean? And I started doing my own research on fibroids because I hadn't heard anything about them. I started asking my family, like, hey, have you heard anything about this? And I found out that there were women in my family who actually had them, and they got them removed, or they had partial hysterectomies. But with hysterectomies or partial hysterectomies, you can't have children. And I'm in my 30s and I want children, as I don't have any currently. So that wasn't a decision for me. Like I was not about to do anything that was going to cause me to not be able to have children. So I decided to look into alternative methods. So I was referred to a holistic practitioner who talked to me for a few hours and told me that there was a way that I could shrink my fibroids. She told me that if I did the things that she was telling me to do, do that I could change my period, shrink my fibroids, and be able to have a child. And I was all for that. So that was in June of 2020. I did all the things that she told me to do, but my birthday was in July. So even though I did the lifestyle change that she told me that I needed to do in June, and my period went from 8 days to 4, I backslid and I ended up eating stuff that I wasn't supposed to be eating and doing stuff and drinking, and that was all against the protocol that she had me on. And I ended up asking for a cheesecake for my birthday, and I ate the cheesecake and I ended up getting so sick. My period was horrible. Like, it was the worst period that I had in so long. And I was like, I can't keep messing with my life like this. I cannot keep messing with my body. I have to make a change. This cannot be life for me. After I had that experience, I decided to go and get a different PCP. The PCP that I went to go see is my current PCP now, and I love her. Initially, I was actually supposed to go to the MD that was there, and she didn't have any availability, so they gave me, what is she? She's like a nurse practitioner. She's an NP, so I've been seeing her, and she's amazing. When I initially started to go see her, she did my labs, and she noticed that my iron was really low, and I told her that I had fibroids, and she was like, you know, the fibroids could be what's making your iron low, and that could be an issue. But she told me that, and she said it so matter-of-factly. She was like, oh yeah, you can shrink those fibroids with diet and lifestyle change. And I was like, oh okay, so my doctor's confirming it. This alternative practitioner that I'm seeing, she's confirming it. So I'm like, okay, this has gotta be real. And I don't know why I kept questioning it, but I wanted to hear it from a gynecologist, I guess, because they were the ones who were going to have to do the surgery on me and doing all the exams and everything. So I needed a gynecologist, and my PCP referred me to a gynecologist that I went to go see, and she was just like, oh no, you have to get surgery. You got to do something about this. And every time I would go see her, she would like press on my stomach, and she's just like, no. And it was like, you know, making me nervous and making me uncomfortable. And I was like, I don't really like this. So I decided to go to a different gynecologist once again. Not even once again, because I've seen 2 more after this. I went to a different gynecologist, and I was like, well, maybe if I see a Black doctor or somebody who has a more holistic approach to gynecology and reproductive health, then maybe they'll be more open to discussing with me about shrinking the fibroids or even different methods of getting rid of them. So I went to a Black doctor, and he did an internal ultrasound, and he was like, oh yeah, you know, my wife was pregnant with fibroids, and she had a 10-centimeter fibroid, but you're gonna have to get surgery to get rid of these. And I was like, that doesn't even make any sense. Like, nobody is telling me why these fibroids are causing me infertility. Like, we're doing all these exams and stuff, but none of my tubes are blocked. Like, nothing is wrong. So why am I having trouble getting pregnant? Like, nobody is telling me like what is going on. So the original gynecologist, or the one previous to this, she had me go and get a something that starts with an H, where they put you on this thing, and then they put like a liquid or a dye inside of you to see like if it goes into your tubes or if there's any blockage or anything. And they seen that one of my tubes was completely open and the other one was kind of blocked, and that might be because one of the fibroids is on that side and blocking that tube. All of my fibroids are on the outside of the uterus, from what they know, because I can't get an MRI. After I seen that gynecologist and he told me the same thing, oh, you're gonna have to go get surgery, I'm like, I'm not doing that. So I guess I was just looking for somebody to be on my side with it. Like, I just kept going to different doctors to just see what other people thought. And I also didn't want to get the C-section scar, the myomectomy. What they were telling me was that if I got the myomectomy, I would have to have a C-section birth, and I didn't want to do that. I wanted to have a natural birth. So I'm trying to find all these different ways around having this surgery. So then I went to see a different holistic practitioner, and she was on the phone with me for hours, putting together a plan for me to shrink these fibroids. And she told me some things to do, and they coincided with what the other holistic practitioner told me to do. I had ordered all these teas that I didn't use because I was very undisciplined. I was going through a lot at that time, and I don't know what was going on, but my mental health just wasn't where it needed to be. I kept starting the diet and falling off. It's not easy. I will say that it's not easy giving up everything that you know, because once you start this lifestyle change, you can't like go back and eat the way that you used to eat, because then they'll just grow back if you do shrink them. You really have to give up a lot of things and change everything that you know. That has been really challenging for me. And then I went to go see a different gynecologist, and when I told him that I had 3 fibroids that were 5 centimeters each, he was like, holy shit. And I was like, damn, like they're acting as if they've never seen anything like this before. And it's like, my periods aren't as bad as they used to be now. I've gotten control over that. Now it's just the issue of the infertility. I'm trying to have a child. And so that's why now I am deciding to do whatever it is that I need to do to heal my body from these fibroids. I seen another womb wellness coach who basically told me the same thing as the other 2, that I needed to detox my body, to cleanse my body, and do a couple different practices and take some different things in order to shrink the fibroids and get rid of them from my body. One thing that I learned during this process is that if you get the surgery and you get a hysterectomy and you don't treat the root cause of what is causing the fibroids, the emotional root, the spiritual root, they can manifest as a different type of disease. And that's what I didn't want. And I'm like, it doesn't make sense for me to go ahead and get this surgery just for them to potentially grow back, when I could just figure out what the root cause of it and fix it, and then go on about my lifestyle change, even though it isn't easy. You know what I mean? It never actually made sense to me when the first doctor suggested that I got on birth control, because from what we understand, fibroids are caused, or not caused, fibroids grow due to excess estrogen. And the way to shrink them and get rid of them is to get rid of the excess estrogen in your body. So why would you recommend anyone to put synthetic estrogen in their body, knowing that this can cause more of an issue, and I want to get pregnant, so that's not really gonna benefit me, you know? So I have been documenting my process of trying to shrink these fibroids and the things that I'm using and doing to try to shrink them. I'm showing all of the products, all of the supplements and vitamins that I've been recommended to take, all of the practices that I've been recommended to do, like writing letters to release negative emotional trauma and things like that. I've been vlogging. I'm going to be doing a vitamin haul, my Amazon haul, and showing you all the things that I'm using to shrink these fibroids. I'm hoping that I can join the group of women who are successful at shrinking their fibroids, because there are so many women out here who are successful because they're disciplined and they're a part of that community. And I want to be one of those women who are able to heal their bodies, and I want God to be able to use me and use my life and my experience as a testimony. So I'm going to be sharing with you all what I'm doing along this process. I know one of the things that I have to do is lose weight. I have to get more active. Doing like womb massages, castor oil packs, like all of those things I'm going to be showing you all and sharing with you all right here on this channel. I'm also going to be sharing it over on my TikTok account. Same name, Fully Love Yourself. So if you are a woman or you know someone who is on the journey of trying to get rid of their fibroids and they're struggling like I am, let them know that I'm here, that I'm putting it out there. I'm healing out loud. I'm taking this journey because I want to put my best foot forward. If I decide that surgery is the best option for me, I want to make sure that I did everything that I could do first. There are different womb wellness coaches that I'll actually link their pages down in my description box, because I want us to be able to learn to heal our bodies. And I'm learning so much and taking all of the information that I've been given from my doctors, from groups that I'm in on Facebook, and everything that I'm learning on TikTok and researching everything to heal my body, because I want to be able to do that. I don't want to have to go and get surgery surgery multiple times. I want to be able to have like a natural birth. I want to be able to have those things, and I believe that I can. Well, thanks for listening to me rant. I hope that this was helpful to somebody, me explaining my journey. I know it was kind of all over the place, but I really wanted to come here and let you all know that we can make other choices other than getting on birth control and going through the surgery. I'm going to be sharing my journey right here on this page. And if you are interested, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. And if you have been successful at shrinking your fibroids, or if you're interested in taking the journey on shrinking your fibroids like I am, make sure you leave me a comment so we can connect and talk and get through this together, because we can. 2023 is going to be the year of healing and wealth and wellness. All right, ladies, thank you all so much for tuning into my video. And if you enjoyed this one, please check out this next one.